You know that feeling, right? You're just walking along, maybe in a park or down the street, and bam! You're stopped dead in your tracks by a flower or a tree, or just the way the light is hitting a landscape. It's like the whole world just goes quiet for a second. Well, today, we're going to dig into what's really happening in that moment. Because according to one school of thought, it's not just a nice feeling, it's a profound act of cognition.
And that experience is right at the heart of what's called the Earthsong movement. They point to this insight from the poet and scientist Goethe. It's this idea that our deepest, most profound understanding of nature doesn't come from a textbook. It comes from that direct, felt experience of its beauty. This is basically the foundation for everything we're about to dive into. So let's ask that question again. What is actually going on when that happens? When beauty just kind of interrupts your day? Is it just a pleasant sensation? Well, the Earthsong philosophy says, no way. They argue it's something much, much deeper. It's a specific way of knowing, a powerful cognitive event that's available to every single one of us.
Okay, so to get this, we first need to completely reframe how we think about beauty. Earthsong sees beauty not as this passive quality that something has, but as an active field event, something that happens in the space between you and the world.
So what does that even mean, a field event? Let's break it down. First, beauty acts as an interrupt. It just hits the pause button on all that mental chatter you've got going on. Then it widens your awareness. Suddenly, you're not just thinking about your to-do list. You feel this sense of coherence, like everything just fits. And crucially, it flips a switch in your mind, moving you from analyzing and naming things to just being present. That is what Earthsong means by ecological cognition. Beauty isn't just something you see. It's a process that totally changes how you see.
And you know, this idea isn't some new age concept. It actually has some pretty deep philosophical roots. To really get it, we've got to jump back to the 18th century to a philosopher named Alexander Baumgarten, who had this totally revolutionary idea about what our senses are up to. Baumgarten is the one who gave us the concept that Earthsong calls qualitative cognition. Okay, so what is it? It's knowledge that we get not from facts and figures, but through our direct sensory perception of qualities. You know, things like harmony, rhythm, balance, coherence. It's a completely legitimate form of intelligence. It's just really different from the analytical kind we're always told is the most important.
And you can see the difference laid out so clearly here. On one side, you've got your standard conceptual knowledge, which is all about analysis, abstraction, and naming. But qualitative cognition, that's about presence, attunement, and feeling. It's really the difference between knowing the Latin name for an oak tree and actually feeling the ancient presence of that specific oak right in front of you.
So here's the absolute game changer from Baumgarten. The senses think. Our perception isn't just some fuzzy, unreliable warm-up act for the real thinking that happens with our analytical brain. No, the act of perceiving qualities in the world, that is a form of knowledge itself. It's direct, it's unmediated understanding.
So if perception is a form of knowledge, where does that take us? Well, more modern thinkers took that idea and ran with it. They started to argue that perception isn't a one-way street at all. It's this interactive, totally dynamic relationship.
The philosopher Merleau-Ponty had this fantastic term for it, reversibility. What he meant was, when you truly look at a plant, it's not just you gathering data about it. It's an encounter. The plant is participating, and you, the observer, are literally changed by the act of seeing. In that moment, your attention is forming a real, live relationship.
And building on that, the biologist Francisco Varela gave us the concept of inaction. He said that our awareness actually emerges from our direct interaction, our coupling with our environment. So the world you perceive isn't just out there, separate from you. It's a shared world that you are co-creating through how you pay attention. This is pretty much the philosophical engine behind practices like attunement.
And this idea just pops up everywhere, across so many different fields. In psychology, James Hillman called it soul-recognizing soul. In ethics, thinkers like Simone Weil and Iris Murdoch saw beauty as something that purifies our attention and pulls us out of our own ego. And even in physics, David Bohm talked about beauty as a felt correctness, a signal that we were aligning with a much larger reality.
All right, so we've gone from a felt experience to philosophy to relational theory. Now let's bring it all together and take a look at what might actually be happening inside our own brains during these moments of deep connection.
And get this, there's a neurological basis for this. Neuroanatomist Jill Bolt Taylor's work gives us an incredible framework here. She describes how our two brain hemispheres process the world in totally different ways. The left hemisphere? That's the analyst. It's linear, focused on the individual. But the right hemisphere, that's the artist. It's panoramic, it's relational, and it sees everything as embedded in a larger unity. That right hemisphere way of seeing, well, that's the neurological home of qualitative cognition.
And this is where it all gets really practical. This isn't just some abstract theory. The practices within the Earthsong movement are designed specifically to quiet down that analytical left brain and fire up the relational, big-picture right brain. It's literally about training our perception as a tool to restore our ecological relationships.
So when you put all of this together, you arrive at a really powerful and I think beautiful conclusion. Beauty isn't just something pretty. It is not just decoration for the world.
It is the cognitive doorway. It's the primary way our perception reorganizes itself, opening us up to a direct, felt relationship with the living Earth. And that shift in perception, that moment you're stopped in your tracks, that might just be the most important first step of all.